What's up, VC? Good day. Seeking a thread here. I've got a whole pile of records I wanted to run through, going back months. A few of them are very recent, and a few of them quite old, we'll say. Let's put it that way. I'll tell you what we're listening to in a moment. But yeah, it's been an interesting sort of getting around to some of these records and playing various things I haven't even played yet, and then other things I'm sort of spinning a few times just because that's what I feel like doing. Let's get into it. Let's start with some 45s. I got this reissue, very obscure Zambian group or artist called Liquorise, Allsorts, Fresh Kapenta, or Ostrich Productions. It's hard to even tell. Fresh Kapenta, Part 1 and Part 2, the Hishi Mambo, backed by the Licorice All-Stars. This is a Strawberry Rain reissue, kind of a Zamrock record, more of a funk, African funk rock, we'll call it. This one has got like sort of he's doing like some spoken word over like a very stripped down thing. He's sort of like James Brown for a bit, and continues on side 2, and then it just has like a really nice sort of call and response to it. Really awesome. Ostrich. This is a reissue. It looks like something that's sort of modern, but no. It's from the Great Strawberry Rain label. I'll have to do an update in my Zambian stuff. I've acquired a whole bunch of Zambian stuff, so new reissues. But played the Spirits and Worm 45 promo. Very rare LP on A&M, sort of a sunshiny psych pop. I got this a while ago. Lurkers, sort of a punk, UK punk group. It's on Beggars Banquet. Kind of in the Buzzcock style, we'll say. Spun that finally. This one's a mini grail. It's been in my want list forever. It's always in the UK, but Angry Mom right now is about to end on a whole bunch of punk singles, and I snagged this one. Desperate Bicycles, great DIY punk group out of the UK. This is their first 7-inch. Same tracks on each side. Why am I having a problem here? The picture sleeve, sort of one of these paper jams. But Smokescreen and Handlebars. This group's excellent. If you don't know them, look them up. I have a bunch of singles and an LP. I have a couple of the singles and I have the LP. DIY. It was easy, it was cheap, go and do it. Sort of a motto. Happy to cross this one off because I just didn't feel like ever importing this. So, a little Meters promo, Dry Spell. This is a mono stereo. No, just same track on both sides. Great Dale Hawkins track, My Babe, on the Checker label. House of Corona Wedding, great rockabilly. And last but not least today, I scored this on. I'm always looking for Yellow Tango rarities. And I forget how I came across this, but this is called Now 2000. It's like a double 7-inch of Yola Tango meeting sort of some free jazz, New York City free jazz people, and they're doing. Are these Sunrod tracks? I forget. I don't think they are. They're compositions, but you have Ira Kaplan, James McNew, George Hubley viola tango, joined by Roy Campbell Jr. trumpet, Daniel Carter alto, Sue Goddard tambourine, Sabir Mateen on tenor sax. Dave just featured Sabir Mateen. This is on the Egon label, which is Yola Tango's own label. Really cool. It's like each 7-inch has one track on two sides, and really great mix up of Yola Tango in sort of their trance, sort of organy mode, and just a little bit of free jazz skronk. Not too harsh or anything. A really great combination between the two. Recorded in 1999. Released by Yola Tango's own label. Now 2000, Excalibur 2001. Alright, some LPs. There's a bunch more 7-inches I'm spinning. I've been finally spinning my Discord box. What the hell am I doing? I'm taking too long to spin stuff. Play records. I'll start with a reggae record. This is one, Rastafari by Sons of of Negus with Ross Michael. It was just called Rastafari, right? This is a UK pressing, first press. There he is. Great personnel here. I mean, everybody's on this. All the big names. Sly and Robbie, Peter Tosh, Robert Lynn, who else? Tommy McCook, Ross Michael, of course. Produced by Jeffrey Chung, a great Jamaican Asian producer. This one years ago came into Angry Mom and I just didn't get it. I don't know why. But I decided to change that. This is a little more sort of straight roots, a little bit less of the Nyabingi sound, but definitely still in that sort of spirit. So if you like the Sons of Negus, Ross Michael, Kawanasi, you should check this out. There's a label. I'll show you the labels real quick. Grounation. And it's from... don't know.
Be a better place if all the people give love. What makes the world so bright is your love.
I think it's like 76, 77. All right. This is what we're playing. Camera Obscura. Chris Cole recommendation. One he sent on to me. German group. This one has this ambient-y sound, and then on the other side, I believe it gets a little more like almost post-punk, a little synthy, sort of almost minimal wave. If I remember correctly, this is like the third time I'm playing it, but it has like this Frippertronics type sound right now that you can hear. A German group, one and only record. Dedicated to Peter Gabriel, it says. But Chris Cole recommended this one to me, and his batting average with me is pretty high, I have to say. This one did not disappoint. Camera Obscura, not the English indie pop group. I believe they're English. The year on this is 1984, I think it is. The years are just not popping to me once again. But it is a quartet. Matthias Becker, House, Niederberger, Michael Peters, Urs Fuchs. Yeah, the year is not jumping out at me. I think it's 83, 84 though. Very nice stuff. This one goes right in hand with it, and actually I got both these records from the same seller. Darren Kearns, his first album, Optimal Being. I posted this on Instagram. This one really, I love this. A record sort of inspired by environmentalism and, protecting the earth and, just sort of good consciousness with mankind. It's on the Atmosphere label. Also a German label, I believe, but this is an American composer. It does have an insert. This one is pretty straight, not straight, but pretty heavy on the ambient sort of new age sound, but it starts to get still some darker territories on the second side. But the amount of synthesizers Stearns is using here is insane. The ARP Quadra, ARP Odyssey, ARP Axe, ARP Omni, the Yamaha CS5, Korg Synth, Polyphonic Moog, and then guitars out of Philadelphia. Year on this one, see if I can find the year. It's around the same time frame. This episode, Dom can't find the year. Yeah, we'll say it's around the same time. But, I think I posted this. The price tag is original price tag, March of 84. $7.99. This wasn't too expensive. I'll show you the labels real quick. The Atmosphere label. Also German. I touched the record. Plop that over there. Speaking of Chris Cole, he turned me on to this auction for this record by Rob Roy, free. It was like $8. And it's one of these records that Chris is always, he's really good at finding sort of deals. It's like one of these things that's sold randomly on Discogs for like $50, and people are asking for like something around that neighborhood for these. And $7 to $8 on eBay. Buy it now, I think it was. So I decided to grab it because it is streamable. Oh, there it is. There's that synth pop sort of, yeah, I'll play something else in a minute, but anyway, this is interesting. Some really good big drums on this. Breaks, basically. This breaks with a trombone soloist who really, that's the interesting thing about this. It's sort of Christian folk with big drums and a lot of trombones, oddly. Really good, actually. Quite good. Epoch Universal Publications, Christian folk, Christian rock a bit. Rob Roy's Free.
The sky. Are you lonely? Tell me why. Sad-eyed man, you pay your dues.
All right, into some jazz here. Here's a UK second pressing of the Sonny Murray's An Even Break. Just listening to this. This one, I forgot how I got into looking at this, but you know, Sonny Murray, the drummer, with an incredible lineup. Bayard Lancaster, always loved finding his records, doing all the different reeds. Kenneth Tarad, who's like a Jamaican saxophonist who's sitting in here. And Malachi Flavors, art ensemble. So, and Sonny Murray doing spoken word, really great actually. I really enjoyed what he's doing on the side one of this. His reading is really excellent, and what they're accompanying and how they accompany him is awesome. This is super, I mean, I think this was like $12. Affinity, you know the Affinity label. Believe did a bunch of the ESP stuff. A UK pressing. Excellent, I love this record. I think I grabbed this with another record in this pile. Yeah, it talks a little bit about when it was recorded in '69. Sonny Murray and Even Break. Is there something else? Oh yeah, Claude Declue, the sort of a mainstay of the BYG Actuel. Did I say ESP before? No, this is originally BYG Actuel. Yeah, it talks a lot about Cecil Taylor in here. Very much a free jazz record though, so beware. Here's one from the desk of Fred Winchester, aka Davis Winchester. Another one when he was selling some records recently. Yeah, Davis, you owe Chris Cole some commission. Chris was like, you got to check out this Ronald Schneider's record. There's Davis's stand, Fred's stand. I really like this. I really like this. Dutch flautist. I love the flute, so anything with flute I will check out. A little bit jazz funk, a little fusion, and just lots of the flute being sort of featured in sort of solo passages. This is from 1980. Ronald Schneider's. Don't know much about him, but it's called Ronald Natural Sources. Original pressing. I believe it's, like I said, 1980. Is this German as well? Maybe, oh, it's Dutch, of course, because he's Dutch. But I dig it. Yeah, Davis, Fred was getting rid of some records, selling some records. Well, this has got to be a couple months ago now. That's where I'm at. And I grabbed this and the Wayne Shorter album. See if I can get in this disc keeper. Here we go. But it's mainly him. Recorded, mixed, mastered by Snijders and Jan Audier. All instruments played, composed, album designed by Snijders. So very much like a private press type of spirit and vibe to this one. Like I said, it moves in and out of jazz, funk, and fusion mainly. So if that's your vibe, check it out. Here's one that I got, I think, with the Sonny Murray, this Italian second press of Gatto Barbieri, Leandro Gatto Barbieri with my man Don Cherry. Sometimes it's just called like Cornet. I don't think the title. I think the title fluctuates, but this is originally recorded in the late '60s in Paris, but released in an Italian label, Durium. And this is like a '74 second pressing. This is definitely straight free stuff. Yeah, it's just out of that classic time with Cherry collaborating with, like, you know, basically anyone could. I love the artwork on this too. Also features Carl Berger or Carl Hansberg as he's put here on vibes. Aldo Romano on drums, JF Jenny Clark on bass, Gatto on tenor, and Don on the cornet. Togetherness. That's right, Togetherness. What am I talking about? It's called Togetherness. Yeah, the first Italian pressing is pretty expensive. This sounds awesome, this 74 press on Dorium in the Cicala series. All right, here we now have Walt Dickinson Trio, To My Son, Dickinson, Andy McKee, and Jimmy Johnson. These are records, Walt Dickinson Trio. I grabbed 4 of them at once. This is going back to last year, end of last year, with a great radio collection that came in for the record shop. This is 1980 on Steeplechase. Walt Dickinson, a long career. These late 70s, early 80s records where he was doing this sparse, very spiritual, but not free jazz, really. These are sort of post-bop and very stripped down. I mean, like, he's doing this vocal sort of things, sort of, you know, he's doing sort of like what Mingus would do when he would play that, like, sort of accenting things with his voice. And these records get very sort of, you know, like they're barely on for a minute, and it almost feels like you're losing steam with it, but then they just come blazing back. I highly recommend these. Alex Motoric 24/7 also, he had shown one at one point, and that sort of got, I think he did it in his Coltrane Memorial Project. And I sort of put my head on it, and then to see 4 of them come in, you know, and not have to import them, because none of these Dickinson Trio records are, I don't believe, U.S. pressings. Denmark is, or Steeplechase is Danish, yeah. So these are getting tough to source. Anyway, like I said, 1980 on Steeplechase, Walt Dickinson Trio. This is lovely, so we'll listen to this for a bit. It's a pretty big heavy hitter, one that was on my want list for, since I started doing a want list. I finally had gotten 2 or 3 years ago original pressing of the first album. And this one, there's been copies up for reasonable prices, but, you know, not in nice shape. And jazz these days, you can't buy jazz. But I was able to get the Eddie Gale, Black Rhythm Happening, you know, basically Eddie Gale's ghetto music, the first record. Blue Note, 1969. Yeah, I absolutely love these. Heavy on the vocals, heavy on the spirituality and sort of backing vocal sort of aspect to it. Really gives it that sort of like spiritual sort of flavor. But Eddie Gale on trumpet, and it's with a whole ensemble of people here. You also have Falumi Prince, who's the lead singer and chorus director, and then the chorus members. The backing band is Ronald Alexander, James Lyons, Elvin Jones on drums, and John Robinson. The Noble Gale musicians are Russell Lyle, Judah Samuel, Henry Pearson, tenor sax, bass, and bass. Eddie Gale, trumpet. Absolutely love this. Thank you, Chris, Hudson Valley Vinyl, who had a fair price and in this condition. It's nice. First pressing. This is the Liberty years. This is a Van Gelder, though. You know, this stinking label. I love it. It's right up there with ghetto music. So a heavy one there. That one's pretty new to me. So there you have that one. Let's get a little bit of rock here. Chris Smither on Poppy. A singer-songwriter record, but anything on Poppy I give a shot. A little bit unassuming, but a very nice singer-songwriter, and very much in the sort of why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? But this is I'm a Stranger 2. I didn't like the other album on Poppy. I like this one. Why can't I think of his name? Emmett Rhodes. Kind of an Emmett Rhodes spirit. Great Poppy label. This was cheap, and it's not cheap anymore, I don't think. Good deal from Angry Mom. Check this out if you dig sort of the Emmett Rose sort of style of, you know, poppy singer-songwriters, but, well, labels called poppy. With a good rootsy sort of rock situation. I love that one. Some indie stuff. How about some Sebadoh? 2 Sebadoh records. Big band for me. One I've always had old CDs of, and I'm trying to knock off the records as I see them. More Angry Mom acquisitions here. I was never going to buy an original of this online, but I knew at some point I would see one. This one's kind of special to me. This is from '99, the Sebadoh. Not sort of a well-loved record in their catalog on Sub Pop, but they came to London. I studied in London for 2 months in the summer of 1999, and Sebadoh was touring this record, and I saw the show, and it was awesome. And I wasn't buying merch then. I was living very, very, you know, dollar to dollar. I think I was, that whole trip, my whole time in London, I was just living off a credit card. No money. And so I wasn't buying records in London, really. I did, actually, that's not true. I did buy some records and CDs. What were they? That'd be, do I still have them? That's the question, if I still have them or not. Anyway, the Sebadoh, 1999. And then Weed Forestin. Or I'm sorry, Weed Forestin. This was combined with that other long record for one long CD, which is what I've always had. This is on Homestead. Always love Homestead. This is that lo-fi sound. Lou Barlow, just after Dinosaur Jr., recording on his own to a tape machine, or not even a tape machine, a tape deck. And I've always wanted to grab these early Sebadohs, so you know, definitely a little crass and, you know, and sort of sad, lonely, but endearing. Sebadoh. Originally a tape, I think, right? Not the Sebadoh, this is Weed Forest. Anyway, there's some Sebadoh for you. Maybe a digital gramophone. I think he's a Sebadoh fan. I think he showed the Sebadoh here at some point. Right, John? Anyway, here's one that I have a hard time saying, but I will try. Eufwan. This is Clay Parton of Duster. He did these records in the mid-2000s. And ironically, I found out about these, and then I found out simultaneously that Numero is going to reissue these. I was really glad I picked this up, because I just looked it up. I'm like, looking up what their deal was, because there's really like 2 records by him. Eufwan. And these are already going for more than they should. Birds in the Ground. This is from 2003, but released on vinyl in 2006. This is definitely Duster-like, but doing things a little more straight, a little more traditional, acoustic flavor to it, but it's got that Duster sort of ambiance and desolate nature. Clay Parton, Eufwan. Check this out. I think, like I said, Numero will reissue it. You can check that out.
Just like a tree in the winter, I'm bare. You dance like a breeze, always choking on air. Can't make a play, you're falling apart. I'm calling you out.
I'll tell you what I got for Record Store Day. I was home. I didn't get to work on Record Store Day. First time in 15 years. I'm not really into any of the exclusives, really. I would never wait in line. I think I did one time in like 2011, I think, right before my son was born. And that's when I was flipping records, so yeah, I was doing that. But I've been working in record stores mainly, or in the record industry around Record Store Day, so I always would just be a part of it one way or another. But we were getting over COVID, so what are you gonna do? But I usually would stash 1 or 2 things that really interested me. And I decided to finally get this record. I wanted the Candid original. You know, I like to get original pressings. But I heard this would sound nice. This is the freaking clear. And it does sound good. Abby Lincoln wailing. Max Roach, we insist. I didn't say that. And Coleman Hawkins, I mean, this is like 61. It's very much early in the social justice movement. But records like this started to come out, you know, at that time. Coleman Hawkins is on here with Max Roach, Abby Lincoln on the vocals, Walter Benton, Booker Little, Julian Priester is on here, trombone, of course, James Shank, bass. There's a black vinyl reissue of this coming. I think this is, yeah, it's a Bernie Grunman. Yeah. Cut by Bernie. This is like the definite one. Like, if I was going to get one, I got 2 records for Record Store Day that were stashed for me. But this was the one I just had to have, the Karen Dalton archival release. And I played this actually, yeah, right around Record Store Day. I haven't played it since. So this is her in the early 60s, I believe when she's out in Colorado. Yeah, 62. Karen summoned Richard Tucker to join her in Colorado, so it's like a duo record mainly. Recorded, yeah, at the Boulder Folk Club, The Attic. This is featured, they talk a little bit about this time in the documentary about her. I just love Karen Dalton, so Shuck and Sugar, I had to have that. These are all unreleased recordings. Trouble in Mind, if you know anything about Karen Dalton, she was not a songwriter, she was an interpreter. So she's mainly doing traditionals, Blind Lemon Jefferson song, and In the Pines is on here. But a lot of traditionals, sort of mountain spirituals and good folk songs, and great duo, and the recording quality is nice. If you have 1965, this one, which I do, on Delmore, you should have this one too. And last but not least, here's a heavy one, actually. Heavy in my wants. I just got this. Some of you know that I'm after all the originals by Master Willburchette. This is the second to last one I needed, so I just need one more. On the Burchette Brothers private label, of course. Guitar Grimoire is what I'm looking for, but this is Psychic Meditation music from '74 on his Burchette Brothers record. And as soon as I get all 4, that last one, I'm going to do a whole video about Willburchette because I just love him. This is definitely a little more synth heavy. It doesn't really have the drum machine, I don't think, as much on it. I didn't even listen to this at all. With him, I listened to some and bought some over the years. But there's a few I had never heard, and this one I hadn't even heard, but I didn't need to hear it. Someone finally was reasonable, and this is a straight mint copy. No, not mint, you know, clean. Someone had, the price was a little high, and then they had make offer, and I made them a reasonable offer, and they took it. And they were super cool about it. Although they insisted it ship signature required anyway. It's last. So I need one more Willburchette. This is just amazing, cosmic, out there, sort of primitive guitar. Some of his records early on, and then, you know, moving into sort of spiritual new age, cosmic psychedelia, all instrumental. Did I show the record? Master Willburchette. So, almost completed that journey. That's all I have. I have way more records to get to, so I'm getting to them. I was glad to play some 45 this week, and glad to finally be catching up with Stunty's streams, which are all long but great and fun. So thank you, Stunty. And I hope everyone's doing just fantastic out there. Hope everyone's lives are going well. It was a hard week here. Material Objects was back in the studio, though. That was good. It was a busy week. It was very busy. Mother's Day being, as you see this, over, but tomorrow. So there's stuff going on there. But yeah, Material Objects recording a new record already. Why not? Let's just do it. We got to get it in the hopper, because tape these days, or, you know, pressings, maybe 3 years before a record gets done. So take care, everyone. Be well. Be safe out there. Be good. See ya.